Welcome back to The Vocalist. Today we are listening to Tori Amos. This is a live performance of the song Winter from 1992. Here we go.
Snow can wait, I forgot my mittens. Wipe my nose, get my new boots on. Get a little warm in my heart when I think of winter. I put my hand in my father's glove. I run off where the drifts get deeper. Sleeping Beauty trips me with a frown. I hear a voice, you must learn to stand up for yourself, 'cause I can't always be around. He says, when you gonna make up your mind? When you gonna love you as much as I do? When you gonna make up your mind? 'Cause things are gonna change so fast. All the white horses are still in blood. I tell you that I always want you near. You say that things change, my dear.
Oh man, so many things. When Tori Amos really came on the scene, I was very young. So I have heard a number of her songs, but I don't I guess I didn't really dig in at the time. This performance and other performances I've seen of hers in comparison to studio recordings, she's just so whimsical. I feel that she takes the heart of the song, the root of the song, and continues to develop it and make it interesting for every live show and for every audience. And so you're getting something that you recognize, but it feels inventive, which I love. I also, watching her, obviously, props to her songwriting, her piano playing, just musicality as a whole. The way I can't imagine it's, the most comfortable position, but in many of her performances, she really works hard to keep her body facing the audience, which I also think is a beautiful thing, as opposed to, moving the grand in front of her. And then not only does that create more separation from the audience, but then they can't even see her body. So at least this way, we're getting to see more of her, and yet she's making an effort to really direct her attention to the audience, which I love. All of that aside, we're going to go back now and actually talk about some vocals. So here we go.
Snow can wait, I forgot my mittens.
Oh my gosh, how beautiful are those lines or those words? I mean, she's not using any sort of firm onset, whether there's a fry or a glottal stop or a lot of press. It feels like she is almost keeping her chords in suspension. I know that's not a real thing, but it's almost like she starts the line and then just holds it so she can like weave in and out with the actual tone itself. And so even though there's separation between the words, it feels so fluid. It just feels so cohesive and beautiful.
Wipe my nose, get my new boots on.
Ooh, that was so her dexterity when it comes to mixed voice is just stunning. We're in a place in her range right now where it's easy to go back and forth between that chest sound or a head sound. And so utilizing both of those muscles and just keeping them flexible, keeping them active means that she can switch back and forth so easily. And so at the beginning of that phrase, we had more of that chest dominant sound, and then she lightened it up and it sounded a little bit more ethereal, a little lighter, a little bit more heady.
Wait, I forgot my mittens. Wipe my nose, get my new boots on. Get a little warm in my heart when I think of winter. I put my hand in my father's glove.
I won't go back, but when she says think of winter, I love the rounding she has on that vowel because it changed the rate of her vibrato just a little bit. So it was almost like an effect, but it doesn't feel like it because it still sounds very much like her voice.
I run off where the drifts get deeper. Sleeping Beauty trips me with a frown. I hear a voice, you must learn to stand up for yourself, 'cause I can't always be around.
The other thing in relation to the text, and I don't know enough background of this song to understand her writing process and her delivery, but when she said, I hear a voice, we got more of that chest dominant sound. And then again, it still sounds very much like her, but just in a different way. And so it almost sounded like she was creating two different characters and giving us that second voice with her delivery.
He says, when you gonna make up your mind? When you gonna love you as much as I do? When you gonna make up your mind? 'Cause things are gonna change so fast. All the white horses still in blood. I tell you that I'll always want you near. You say that things change, my dear. Boys get discovered as winter melts.
I'm gonna play this section again from the beginning. Even just the way she delivers, it's always the text. I just love the way she delivers text. Discovered, separating that, it gives so much emphasis to these words that I think would sort of get passed by if she didn't take the time to really draw them out for the listener.
Boys get discovered as winter melts. Flowers competing for the sun. Years go by and I'm here still waiting, withering where some snowman was. A mirror, mirror, where's the crystal palace? But I only can see myself.
Something that I'm really loving about this performance is her performance style. And I know I mentioned facing the audience earlier, but when you reflect on a lot of artists today, when we sing slightly more intimate songs, or I don't know, songs even with stories similar to this one, but that feel a bit more reserved, maybe have a smaller sound, moments when, again, you want that closeness and that intimacy, and you just want this very gentle sort of ambiance. There's a tendency for a lot of singers to become very internal with that, to close their eyes, to really present as if, you're sort of an outsider looking in, which I think is very beautiful. But watching her perform this song and really communicate, make eye contact with the audience, it's something you don't see very often in this, I'm going to say in this style of music, but I feel like she's kind of her own style. But hopefully you understand, just the aesthetic, for lack of a better word, that sort of feel of a more intimate song and its delivery. I feel like we are getting something very different than what we usually see. And for me, it's just, I don't know, I feel like I'm getting the text more. I am so engaged, and I'm so captivated by her expressions, her facial expressions, and how she's delivering every single word. It's mesmerizing. So I went back just a little bit. Here we go.
But I know that the ice is getting thin. When you gonna make up your mind? When you gonna love you as much as I do? When you gonna make up your mind? 'Cause things are gonna change so fast. Oh, the white horses still in bed. Tell you that I'll always want you near. You say that things change, my dear. Well, here is gray and the fires are burning. So many dreams on the shelf.
I love how she transitioned into her head voice there, and it was so pointed. It was just such a very clean, fully adducted sound. We weren't getting a lot of air in there, and so it was just such a gorgeous, stark contrast from what we were hearing before. And I know I've mentioned her diction, but again, I want to emphasize, I love, when she really rounded that. Mirror was another word that stood out to me, the way she pronounced it. Just those tiny little details. It doesn't have to be huge. You don't have to, change everything, but it's just these beautiful, consistent changes in her pronunciation that just, I don't know, they just take this song to the next level. I also know there haven't been a lot of clips of her feet and her pedal work here, but there was a moment where it didn't look like she was using the pedal with either foot. And I'll have to go back and re-listen, but she's an exquisite piano player, and the amount of technique that we're able to hear in her playing is just, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I wanted to briefly mention that. Let me get back to the beginning of this section.
Well, here is gray and the fires are burning. So many dreams on the shelf. Oh, you say I wanted you to be proud of me. I always wanted that myself. When you gonna make up your mind? When you gonna love you as much as I do? When you gonna make up your mind? 'Cause things are gonna change so fast. All the white horses gonna have do you that I'll always want you near. You say that things my dear, never change. All the white horses,
The one other thing I wanted to mention was her air. At the beginning of the song, it felt like she was using these audible breaths to really enhance what she was saying and what she was delivering. But then when we got to that section with that really prominent head voice sound, there was no strain in her face and her neck. And so it's just a great indication that she was really using air and doing it very efficiently in order to get the sounds that we were hearing, which was fun to see. That is it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching with me, and hopefully I will see you next time.